Hi, dear cricket fans, subscribers, and friends. Thank you very much for your support and welcome to Cricket Happenings. Today I'm going to be a bit brief here due to shortage of time, but definitely I'm going to cover all the important points here. Well, there are three matches which are going on. One is New Zealand Pakistan, the 2020 international, which actually New Zealand are now leading the series in the 2020 overs international 2-0. As far as the Ashes is concerned, the fourth day, England are absolutely within sight of victory because 246 runs is what Australia need to make England bat again. And in Durban, in South Africa, South Africa are chasing 303 to win the match, and they are 111 for 3 on day 3 when bad light stopped play. So let's first go for the 2020 international between Pakistan and New Zealand, and let me just recount the tale over there. Well, it all started with, in fact, it was New Zealand Pakistan who actually won the toss, and they inserted New Zealand into bat. And in fact, Pakistan had a good start there because Jesse Ryder was the first to go when he actually gloved a ball down the leg side to Umar Akmal, the wicketkeeper, of the bowling of Abdul Razak for a duck. So that was the first wicket. But after that, there were some very, very sizable contributions coming in. Martin Guptill just carried on in that effort that he has probably, there's a lot of things I've heard that Mark Greatbatch, the head of the selectors, has probably told Martin Guptill to actually play his natural game, and that's what he's doing, and that he's really, really coming up trumps. And today he thrashed 44 of 28 balls, 3 fours and 3 sixes. There were a lot of sixes hit in the New Zealand innings. In fact, there were 11 sixes hit. In fact, Guptill hit 3 sixes out of those, and he was a victim of Ajmal after contributing 44. That was a very good partnership that they had. They actually took on the score to 91 in the 12th over after Jesse Ryder left to the second ball of Abdul Razak of the day. And then Martin Guptill and James Franklin combined. James Franklin, as you know now, after playing very well in India, is in some good form here, and he also combined very well. In fact, he was promoted in the batting order today by Ross Taylor, and James Franklin came one drop and really gave good support to Martin Guptill, who was actually scoring at the other end. As I said, Martin Guptill was the first to go, and after that Franklin followed him to the pavilion after making 40 when he was caught behind by Umar Akmal, who is actually keeping wickets for Pakistan now, bowled by Shahid Afridi for 43 balls, 2 fours and 1 6. And later on, there were contributions from Scott Styris, who actually scored a very, very quick 34 of just 14 deliveries, 3 fours and 3 sixes, becoming a victim of Shoaib Akhtar. And Ross Taylor was not out 30, but the man who really brought the New Zealand score to 185 was Peter McGlashan, who actually plundered 24 runs of an Umar Gul over to actually take the New Zealand score on to 185. In fact, he hit 3 fours and then followed it with 2 sixes of the bowling of Umar Gul, and Umar Gul's figures were absolutely shattered there. Peter McGlashan was LBW bowled Wahab Riaz for 26 of just 10 deliveries, 3 fours and 2 sixes. Nathan McCullum was out for 1. Kyle Mills was out for a duck. Ross Taylor, the captain, was there, not out on 30 of 21 balls, 1 4 and 2 sixes. 185 for 7 was what New Zealand had on the board. The bowling figures: 2 overs, 1 for 12 for Razak, Akhtar 4 overs, 1 for 42. Umar Gul 3 overs, none for 47, was very costly. Wahab Riaz 3 overs, 1 for 22. Shahid Afridi 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 22. And Saeed Ajmal 4 overs, no maiden, 3 for 35. So the Pakistan innings were concerned, Pakistan started off in very, very strong fashion. In fact, Shahid Afridi hitting a 6, Mohammad Hafiz hitting a 6 and a boundary, and they were 24 in the second over. But then the person to go was Shahid Afridi when he actually was clean bowled by Kyle Mills for 7. That was the first wicket. After that, Ahmed Shahzad made 15. Umar Akmal was still there holding the hopes, but all the other players failed around him. Yunis Khan was gone for Yunis Khan made 3. Asad Shafiq was out for 6. Abdul Razak was out for 14. Umar Gul was out for naught, and then Wahab Riaz contributed 18. Shoaib Akhtar was not out on 5. Saeed Ajmal was not out on naught. But the person who played and who kept the Pakistan's hopes was Umar Akmal, but he couldn't do much, as Umar Akmal, after contributing 26 of 32 balls with 1 6, was a victim of Saudi and the New Zealand bowling, and Pakistan actually fell short by 39 runs and lost the second 2020 overs international. 146 for 9 was what Pakistan mustered. And the bowling figures, well, let me tell you, the person who did the damage there was Nathan McCullum, the off spinner, who bowled with guile. 4 overs, no maiden, 4 for 16. Woodcock making his debut on this 2020 international, 4 overs for 20. 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 35 for Ian Butler, who came in place of Adam Mill, the 18-year-old speedster, which was a bit surprise for me. Tim Saudi, 4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 26. 3 overs, 1 for 34 for Kyle Mills, and Franklin 1 over, no maiden, none for 10. So Pakistan losing this match by 39 runs to New Zealand in the third 20 overs international, and now they are leading the series, so one more 20 overs match is to go. Well, so since I don't have time now, let's go get into the Ashes here, where Ashes yesterday, England were slowly rolled out for 530. Actually, I thought Australian bowlers, Peter Siddle in particular, bowled very well. In fact, he just nipped them away in the first session itself. His figures: 33.1 overs, 10 maiden, 75 runs and 6 wickets, and 513 was what England had on the board. Trott was not out on 168 of 345 balls with 13 fours. Pryor left for 85. Siddle suddenly just ran through the England batting lineup there. Pryor fell to Siddle for 85 of 119 balls with 11 fours. Bresnan was caught behind the bowling of Siddle for 4. Graham Swan contributed 22, becoming a victim of Ilfenhaus of 28 balls with 3 fours. Tremlett was bowled by Ilfenhaus for 4, and Anderson was bowled by Siddle for 1. 513 all out. So Australia doing well thanks to Peter Siddle actually restricting them to 513, but still the lead was a bit massive. 415 was what the lead was for England. And bowling figures, I could only talk about Peter Siddle: 33.1 overs, 10 maiden, 75 runs and 6 wickets. Other than that, chipped in Ilfenhaus 2 wickets, Mitchell Johnson 2. That was it. As far as Australian innings were concerned, the Australian innings was totally in shambles. In fact, the opening was good. They actually had a 50-run opening stand before there was a misunderstanding between Shane Watson and Phil Hughes, and Phil Hughes was the victim as Trott was the one who threw down the wicket, run out for 23 of 30 balls with 4 fours. Shane Watson was there at the crease, but the person who did the damage was Tim Bresnan. Tim Bresnan, 15 overs, 7 maidens, 26 runs and 3 wickets. He was the one who did the colossal damage to Australia, I would say, because first he had Watson, who deliberately actually didn't offer a stroke to a ball from Bresnan, which came in, and he was gone. LBW ball Bresnan for 54 of 102 balls with 6 fours, and Bresnan was actually swinging the ball both ways, and he was looking absolutely menacing at the time, I would say. And Ponting, who struggled for 20 runs of 73 balls to 2 fours, was searching for his form, but again fell this time, and Bresnan actually nipped him as Ponting was clean bowled by Tim Bresnan for 20. And then after that, Michael Hussey, the informed batsman, was caught by short cover on the bowling of Bresnan for duck, and that was what Bresnan did the damage. 104, he reduced Australia to 104 for 4 at that stage. And then Michael Clarke and Steve Smith were there, but Michael Clarke would go on only up till 13 as Graham Swan actually picked up his wicket when Clarke was caught in the slips by Strauss for 13 of 66 balls with no boundaries. Stephen Smith was the only one who had some resistance. He made 38 of 67 balls with 6 fours by actually stroking the ball well, but then he was clean bowled by Anderson for 38. And at the close of play, Australia were reduced to 169 for 6, still needing 246 runs to actually avoid an innings defeat, I would say here, with Brad Hardy not out on 11 at the crease and Mitchell Johnson not out 6 at the crease. 169 for 6, and the bowling figures were as Tim Bresnan, 15 overs, 7 maidens, 26 runs, 3 wickets, doing immense damage to Australia there, and Graham Swan, 22 overs, 11 maidens, 1 for 23. 13 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 55 for Chris Tremlett. 16 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 62 for James Anderson. And as I said, in fact, it's almost the match is into England's hands. England probably going to retain the Ashes today. They just have to remove the remaining 4 wickets. That is going to be a mere formality, according to me, even though Brad Hardy is there at the crease. But one has to wait and watch what really happens there at the MCG on day 4. But I'm sure this session is going to be a bit short there. 169, another 246 runs needed by Australia with 4 wickets remaining. So let's shift on to South Africa in Durban, where India have set South Africa a target of 303 to win the match. And India on the third day, well, they resumed on the overnight score, and the only contribution, I would say, that Pujara was the first to go today when extra bounce took the better of him, as he actually played on to Morkel for 10 of 56 balls with 1 4. Dhoni contributed an aggressive 21 of 35 balls with 4 fours, becoming a victim of Sotsobe. And then Harbhajan Singh left for 4 of the bowling of Morkel. The only person who really stood there was VVS Lakshman, stood there like a rock, and he contributed 96. He missed a century by 4 runs, caught behind the bowling of Steele for 96 of 171 balls with 12 fours. And after that, Zahir contributed another very, very enterprising 27 of 63 balls with 4 fours, becoming a victim of Harris. Ishan Sharma was not out or not. 228 all out. So India, with the lead, set a target of 303 to South Africa for victory. The bowling figures: Dale Steyn 15.5 overs on 260, Morkel 3 for 47, 3 for 43 for Sotsobe, 1 each to Callis and Harris. And as far as South African batting was concerned, South Africa batting, they started off very aggressively, and this time Graham Smith was doing very well against Zahid Khan. In fact, he won the battle against Zahid Khan by actually smoking him for 4 fours in 2 overs. Alvaro Peterson was also aggressive, and they came with a very aggressive approach, and they put on 63 in very quick time. But then Sreesanth came in and already had a verbal exchange with Smith before, but actually had the better of Graham Smith, as Graham Smith top edge a hook shot in the hands of Dhoni, the wicketkeeper, and Graham Smith was gone for 37 of 38 balls with 5 fours. And Harbhajan Singh came in and actually had Alvaro Peterson caught on the leg side by, very well taken by Cheteshwar Pujara at forward short leg for 26 of 45 balls with 4 fours. And Hashim Amla ended his best year in his career, I would say, with a lot of runs to his name, as Hashim Amla was gone, caught behind the bowling of Sreesanth for 16 of 16 balls with 3 fours. Very bad stroke from Hashim Amla, poking at a ball from Sreesanth. And in the end, Jacques Kallis was not out on 12. Abby de Villiers was not out on 17. And they went to stumps at 111 for 3 when bad light stopped play. So, in fact, South Africa required 192 runs with 7 wickets remaining. And let me also speak about the bowling figures. Well, before that, I think I have to end up my broadcast here, unfortunately. Thank you for your company. This is Ram signing off. Thank you.